In this reality, whether viewed through a scientific materialist lens or a spiritual one, there are no true boundaries. Time, space, and complexity appear infinite. There is always another level of complexity to discover. Even at the smallest scales where our understanding breaks down, there are no hard barriers, just levels of reality that become incomprehensibly small. This boundlessness sets the stage for transcendence. Imagine existence as a pyramid of ever-increasing complexity. Each layer builds upon the previous one, ascending infinitely upward. At the pinnacle of this infinite pyramid, though it truly has no top, lies the divine, the ultimate expression of boundless complexity and transcendence. That divine is, in essence, what we call God. It's important to understand that most people, in their attempt to worship God, often end up worshiping an idea of God that is limited by their own understanding. For example, if someone grows up with a fundamentalist view of God as a figure on a throne, that's a limited perception. In truth, God is boundless, inseparable from the nature of reality itself. God and reality are one and the same, the foundation of all being. Everything in existence is intricately connected, part of the same continuous system. Scientifically speaking, everything is made up of patterns and forms of energy. And as humans, we are not separate from this world. We are of it. Like a whirlpool in a river, we maintain a form, but we are always part of the greater flow. In this way, everything is interconnected and inseparable. In essence, we are God realizing His own perfection through our individual experiences. This journey of individuation is essential because it transforms a more shallow concept of perfection into something profound. Instead of simply being created as perfect from the start, which would be a more static and shallow form of completeness, the divine chooses to experience growth, challenge, and transformation through us. Our lives, with all their complexities, struggles, and triumphs, are the means by which God comes to understand and fulfill His own perfection. In other words, our individual existence is like a series of unique experiences that add depth and richness to the divine perfection. Through this process, we become the many masks of God, each one a unique reflection of the divine, all part of an interconnected whole. The word person itself comes from the Latin persona, meaning a mask worn by an actor. In this sense, our personalities, our egos, are like coats we wear atop our deeper selves. They are not false, but they are not the whole truth either. They are temporary garments, expressions through which the divine explores, learns, and plays. The existence of suffering and what we perceive as evil is essential because they allow for the emergence of higher values, like forgiveness, courage, trust, honor, and resilience. These qualities can only truly be realized in a world where challenges exist. Without the presence of difficulty, these virtues would have no context and no way to manifest. This is why the divine does not merely permit suffering but willingly enters into it, because through these experiences, He comes to know, embody, and elevate these deeper values. But this is not some external imposition. It is a voluntary undertaking by the only being with the right to subject us to suffering, our deeper divine self. When you understand that you exist on multiple levels, self, deeper self, and divine self, it becomes clear that this path is one you chose, out of love, to explore and enrich your being. Through us, God experiences not just pain, but the triumph of meaning born from it. And in doing so, the divine is not diminished by suffering, but completed through it. These deeper truths are what ancient religions have always pointed toward, though they are often misunderstood at a surface level. Many people see the narratives, like that of the Garden of Eden, without delving into the profound philosophical insights they contain. The Bible and other sacred texts were divinely inspired, serving as a progressive unfolding of truth, not unlike the unfolding of scientific discovery. Just as scientists throughout history have experienced moments of epiphany, sudden insights that seem to arrive from beyond the conscious mind, so too have prophets, sages, and writers of Scripture received bursts of revelation. This is the nature of divine inspiration. Not always a dictation from above, but a mysterious unveiling from within. Scripture reflects a long arc of refinement, a winnowing of ideas over generations, distilling truth into more potent, resonant forms. It wasn't meant to be a static, infallible guide that asks nothing of us. Rather, it is a living invitation to wrestle, reflect, and grow. If all truth were simply handed to us, our minds would stagnate. Instead, we must look to reality itself as the clearest expression of truth and see our thoughts, words, and sacred stories as imperfect vessels reaching toward it. The more earnestly we seek and understand, the more complete and enriched our experience becomes. The journey of understanding is ongoing, and it requires faith in both reality and the divine, which are ultimately inseparable. A simple way to look at it is that we should strive to live in a way that, if everyone did the same, we would essentially create a heaven on earth. This is what it means to align with your divine purpose. Many people, as they are now, are often driven by unconscious impulses and might not fully reflect on their true situation or potential. But as soon as you become aware of your true reality and start living consciously with that awareness, it becomes a process of implementing that understanding in everyday life. It's a continuous journey, and along the way, there will always be temptations and challenges. The goal isn't to deny yourself every pleasure or to live in rigid asceticism, but rather to find a balanced, moderate approach where you can enjoy life's simple joys without being controlled by them. In doing so, you move closer to that divine alignment and find a deeper fulfillment in life. Our belief structure shapes our everyday actions and the course of our lives. Without a deeper understanding of our true reality, we can easily be misled and make choices that might seem good on the surface but ultimately lead to suffering. When we look at life purely through a scientific materialist lens, it can sometimes feel hollow, lacking a sense of purpose, which can lead to feelings of nihilism. Many people find themselves caught up in a rat race, pursuing money without realizing that true riches exist beyond material wealth. Riches can be found in energy, in ideas, in experiences, and in skills. However, it can be challenging to see beyond the distractions of everyday life, such as work, entertainment, and personal concerns, which often consume our thoughts. The hope is that by embracing these deeper insights and being open to change, reality itself becomes a teacher, guiding us towards a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. We have free will, and it's up to us to make that decision to seek and embrace a deeper understanding. In the journey of understanding and embracing our divine nature, we uncover the infinite within ourselves and the universe, finding meaning, growth, and fulfillment in the unity of all. Now consider this poem. For who are we? The world calls sin a flaw, a fall, a crack in heaven's golden wall. But what if pain and grief and loss are footprints from the one who crossed? Not watching from a throne above, but wrapped in bone, in breath, in love, not distant from the dust and sod, but God through us, and we through God. What if the wound is not a blight, but God descending into night? Not wrathful judge with lightning eyes, but sufferer in our disguise? He split himself in many streams, to taste our fears, to walk our dreams, to bleed with us and laugh and cry, and through our death himself to die. He scattered stars, then broke the frame, to burn with us in guilt and shame. And from within our fractured song, he sings, I've been you all along. Not sin as stain, nor soul as scar, but veils that show how near we are. For love would choose and freely fall to rise again and lift us all. So call it not a grand mistake, this path through shadow, ash, and ache. It is the road the one became, the fire within our human flame.